Happy Monday, Lucky Lefty Podcast. ONORA boys in the building. We are brought to you by ONORA Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. That premium American whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. And if you drink, by all means, make sure that you do so
responsibly.
Got to do it responsibly, man. Audio edibles each and every day. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, over at CFE Nation. Man, go lock in with us right now. Great content each and every day. You already know that we're indeed going to spin it different. Subscribe to us on YouTube, the notification bell. You need to hit that. So every time we post something or go live, you'll know about it. Subscribe. Make sure you smash that thumbs up. We appreciate you guys, especially because we've been getting 100% in our likes, man, for the past week or so. So we greatly appreciate it. All your comments, we respond to all immediately after the show. Home of the Misguided Passion. Yeah. ONORA boys. We're going to keep spinning it different. And don't forget, our merch shop is right there underneath every video on our YouTube page. Go shop for the best crew necks, hoodies, trucker hats. We got more merch coming. The Spin It Different line, the Gritty line with the leprechauns doing the gritty, showing how we spin it different. And then the logo line. You got
the gritty one kind of tough. I'm not gonna lie.
The gritty one is tough, man. The gritty one is tough. So we got some more stuff coming, man. We're gonna keep spinning it different in the Patreon. We got content dropping over at the Patreon just for $10 a month. You're literally going to get a list and a lineup of shows on a weekly basis that's going to give you fantastic content, not just about Notre Dame football. We're going to be interviewing Hall of Famers, college football greats. We got some interviews coming up from Super Bowl weekend out in Vegas this week. Great content that's going to be posted over there. Membership is just $10 per month. $10 per month. You know, we're giving you indie flicks. You know what I mean? Instead of Netflix, we're giving you indie flicks over here. And then in the spring, you get first dibs because I'll be recording immediately after each and every practice a video, and I'll be posting it on the Patreon. And that's how you get first dibs on my thoughts and my point of view of what I've seen at practice. It's the Lucky Lefty Podcast, man. We're going to keep spinning it different. We're going to keep spinning it different. Left, how was your weekend, bro?
Weekend was great. You know, usually these are some of the worst times in sports because it's the end of the football season. Basketball is kind of like whatever. But and I think this is the women's basketball season. Is that what it is? I mean, I'm getting up in the morning at 9 a.m. The girls' games is on. So maybe that's new input, you know, college and WNBA. So I do think that the weekends are a little slower. So it feels like they go a little longer for me. But always good to come back on a fresh Monday and get on the pod, man.
Bro, very, very good weekend for myself, man. I can't lie. And I enjoyed watching the Grammys last night, bro. I'm an old soul, bro. So
you didn't think some of them performances was a little 10, 15 years overdue?
No, I said I'm an old soul. So I enjoyed, like, dude, I've been a Joni Mitchell fan since I was young.
What'd you think about the Stevie Wonder? I think he losing a little bit. Him and
he's darn at 80 years old.
I know, that's what I'm like. Who are they gonna have performing when Stevie and those guys? These are reoccurring.
I don't know. I know, dude. The way AI is incredible.
Okay.
Because the way they lined up visually and audio-wise for Tony Bennett, rest in peace to Tony Bennett, to actually include Stevie.
Yeah, they had him. That was AI?
Pointing to him. Yeah, that was an old performance. He wasn't talking to Stevie Wonder. It was like, yo, I was like, yo,
it got me.
I'm sitting there like, yo, this is incredible. I didn't know,
because he even shouted out Stevie at the end.
Yeah.
And that's AI?
Man, bro,
I can't trust nothing.
Man. I was like, yo, this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So
and you can tell Stevie was trying to keep up. That's why it threw me off a little bit, because I didn't know if he was trying to keep up with it.
Remember, they messed up because it's a live show. It's
Right,
one of the
right,
it's
right.
one of the mistakes they made is they hit the wrong video to start.
Yes. That's what
And then they cut and went back to Stevie, and then they came out with the Tony Bennett. I think it threw Stevie off a little bit at the beginning
did
as well.
because he didn't know when to come in almost.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
But he got back on the professional that he is.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it, I've always been kind of like, okay, they love to bring up these artists that were like, first of all, I didn't know that many people passed. That's the first thing. I didn't, when they was playing the Stevie, I didn't know that many people passed.
You forget during the course of a year,
I'm like, man, all them people in 1 year, that's crazy. But then you see like Bill Osteen or Joel Osteen at the end.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know they played the little documentary. He didn't make a song for like 30 years.
You and Billy Joel.
Billy Joel. Yeah, he didn't make a song for like 30 years.
Billy Joel, I don't know. Billy Joel looks like it just looks corny. Even when he was younger, he was like corny, right? But man, once we saw that dude had pulled Christy Brinkley, we gave that dude all street cred. He had all street cred.
But they say we didn't know you. We weren't familiar with this part of your game.
And he put Christy Brinkley in the Uptown Girl video.
Yeah,
we're like, all right, you good? You good with us?
Get over here, man.
You good with us? I thought the Burna Boy and Travis
Scott.
Burna
Boy was good.
Travis Scott to me, his performances just don't translate at a Grammy setting.
When he started smashing the chairs, yeah, he was good at doing that.
He's a fantastic performer. But as far as like the Grammys,
that's
I don't
not
know.
Grammy type of no.
Yo, shout out to SZA, 9 nominations.
The commercial was better than all the performances. I thought her commercial performance. Man, I thought that was good. The MasterCard, whatever that was.
Look, shout out to SZA, and her nominations is an ode and a nod to the artist and the artist knowing what's best for them. Ladies and gentlemen, she created an album that was, as soon as I heard it, I told my daughter, I said, this is a B96 album. What I mean by that, the R&B and hip hop station in Chicago, legendary WGCI, that has launched, many careers, many Hall of Fame careers in radio. I said, this is a B96 album, which is, the pop album in Chicago. And my daughter was like, what do you mean? I was like, this is her crossover album.
Oh, into being mainstream.
Yeah.
And
the reason it took so long to come out is because TDE did not want her to do that type of project. They wanted her to continue to give her fan base.
I mean, I think she probably amassed a bigger fan base.
But my point is, as the artist, she held fast to her guns. They made her go back in the studio to change it. Like, no. And she said, no, this is the album. This is it. 9 Grammy nominations, bro. You look, the artist.
She didn't win one, though. That was crazy.
I mean, she won. What did she win? She won 1 award. I think she won 3 awards, and only one of them was actually aired. Dude, her album was better than Taylor Swift's album.
100%.
But there was like 2 other albums amongst
Did you listen to the John Baptiste one? I didn't even know about that one.
I did not listen to that album in totality. I did not.
Did you hear any songs? I mean, he was up for a lot of nominations too.
And shout out to TDE for finally putting in money for a performance, because the SZA performance was absolutely amazing.
The commercial one, right?
The Kill Bill joint, and even the one that went to commercial when she was on the I forget what that's called.
Forest, the tree, whatever. Yeah,
man, look, shout out. Thank you for supporting the artist, bro. Especially in a big moment.
What about
dude, I think her acceptance speech, you could tell that she was still changing backstage. when they called her name and Lizzo was waiting for her to come out. And she comes running out and she's holding her dress up because it's probably not all together, but
you know she got a lot to cover up.
And you know, her speech is absolutely amazing. She was like, it's amazing that Lizzo is giving me this award because it was just 7 years ago that we were basically doing, you know, rooms of 100 people opening up for other people on tours, and to be here right here in this moment.
What do you think of the Killer Mike victory? Did you listen to the album?
Oh, Killer Mike's album is absolutely fantastic.
Do you think it was 3 award sweep? Fantastic.
Yeah, because it wasn't really a good year in like hip hop.
If any year he could do it, it was this one.
It was this year. It was like perfect timing. Yeah. Okay. And everybody's talking about, of course, the Jay-Z speech. First of all, the Jay-Z speech was like, people don't realize
10 years too late.
No, people don't realize how funny Jay-Z is in a Jay-Z way.
Yeah.
Right? Because like when he hit him with the sippy cup joint right off the bat, he was like, yo, that was based upon the Grammy that he gave him. He was like, yo, this ain't nothing but a sippy cup for Blue, because Blue was a baby.
And he
had Blue on stage. Yeah. And then he went off stage and actually poured his champagne in the Grammy and drank it. So
why was it black, not gold? Is that just because it was Dr. Dre's?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But it's like, yo, I am, and it's connected to the Black Collective, Black Music Collective, and all that stuff. But man, he's petty funny. That's what it is. Yeah. Like Jay's petty funny.
It's like, you gonna reward me, I'm gonna just use it as a sippy cup right here. Like,
then he alludes to, he didn't even mention his wife, but notice he never mentioned the Academy as well.
Oh, when he was just saying like, oh,
no, you know how people say thanks to the Academy? No, he was like, thanks Andre Young, thank you to the Black Music Collective. He purposely was like,
yeah, he was throwing shade the whole time.
Man, it was. And
I wonder why he didn't mention Beyonce though.
No, because he didn't want. That's another thing. He was like, there's a certain artist. He was talking about Beyonce. He was talking about his wife, but he was like, there's a certain artist, you know. And he was like, yeah, some of y'all, you know, y'all might get robbed, and some of y'all might get robbed, which is a double entendre. Because it's like he's in LA. He was like, yeah, you know, artists get robbed in LA. I'm like, dude, this dude is like spitting bars in a regular speech. Like, he just, the dude is funny, man. The dude is funny. And then he's like, keep showing up until they, you know, finally give you your accolades, finally call you a genius, and finally have to call you a chairman, which is all the things that they call him now. So the speech was well done. It was funny. It was petty funny. And it's Jay-Z, man. It's Jay-Z. Is it going to ruffle some feathers? Probably. Because I saw Janelle Monáe frowning when he was saying it. It's like, whatever. You
know. She got nominated for Album of the Year too and didn't win.
I haven't heard one single.
I heard one song. Ain't that crazy that the albums of the years and songs of the year you probably have never heard of?
Yeah.
That's like the movies. I think the movies is a little crazier because you can get away with that. Yeah. But a song, you haven't even heard it one time. And it's lasted a whole year to the point it gets nominated.
And shout out to Meryl Streep for saying, even though it's probably written for her, for saying as she presented Record of the Year. Why don't you just call it Single of the Year, dude? It confuses people.
Yeah. She said same thing.
Right. The Song of the Year is not for the song, it's for the songwriters.
For the songwriter, yeah.
Record of the Year is for the single. She was like, and she was just like, so it's the Single of the Year. Like,
because I could have swore they did the Record of the Year like 30 minutes before that. And I was like, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Because they did the Record of the Year, and then she came out and was like, this is single, it's the same thing. And I thought it was the album. It was just some of these is like splitting hairs, you know.
Man, I enjoyed it. Me and my wife, we enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm an old head, so I enjoyed Joni Mitchell.
Have you heard of Olivia Rodrigo?
Yes. She's been on fire for about 3 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the vampire song, I was like, I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't.
I'm like, maybe it's how. Dude, the video is worse than the performance. You have to see the video.
Oh, I was like, she bleeding on stage.
Yeah. So, that was the weekend. Hey, shout out to the NFL. They might be on to something the way the NBA was on to something with the in-season tournament.
Oh, all the games.
That new format, it was entertaining, bro. It was actually entertaining. That was like one of the Pro Bowls I actually stuck with.
I mean, they had so many different. I mean, they was.
And you know what? They had the right dudes in the Pro Bowl, dude, because they had dudes there that actually seemed like they wanted to be there. Yeah, and the players actually seemed like they wanted to be there. I don't know. Maybe it was being in Vegas. Maybe they need to keep it in Vegas, right? Because players like going to Vegas. So maybe keep it in Vegas moving forward. But the format, I loved it. You know, Jason Kelsey, his last year, him enjoying it. You could tell he was having fun. Maybe it was just a perfect thing, perfect atmosphere for it. But I liked it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. On today's show, thank you for allowing us to talk about our weekends and the Grammys and everything else. We're going to talk about what's smoking coming up, but then we're going to get into the transfers. Riley Leonard, Chris Mitchell, and some others, and LOREN LANDOW, what they had to say when they met with the media. But it's always left, what's smoking? What's Smoking is brought to you by Fashion Geek, AlonzoJackson.com, Fashion Geek. We run the city. And What's Smoking is 4-star linebacker, defensive end, whatever you want to call him, CJ May, decommits from Notre Dame. And it's funny because this comes on the heels of a heated argument that me and my co-host had a week ago. It was literally a week ago about the backyard states, because MALIK, only as a Notre Dame man can, says, yo, everywhere is our backyard in recruiting.
It is.
Like, yo, that left. Look,
International Recruiting Service.
You're supposed to believe that. Right? And I countered with Alabama and Georgia are not backyard recruiting states for Notre Dame. They never have. They're never
not
will
hot
be.
Spots. You know how you
call it, tomato, tomato. Tomato, tomato. You call it what you will. You know. Where is CJ May from? Where is he from? Now, mind you, CJ May's not even a top 5 player in the state, because that was my caveat. Like, name the last top 5 player.
That's right.
From the state of Georgia, Alabama, that Notre Dame got. But, you know, he's a top player in the state. Top 7. Where is he from? He's from Alabama, dog.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what happens in backyard states.
See, that's not fair because
wait. We're gonna take fair out of this conversation. Go ahead.
You have to consider the fact that one, we wasn't even competing down there until Marcus Freeman started putting his hat in there. Second of all, yes, we always knew the problem was the retention, not getting them. So I don't necessarily take anything away from Marcus Freeman by losing him, just like I didn't when he lost Keon Keeley. Now, I think there's a certain retention process that has to, be better, which I think is what the future of the program is. When we start working with Pete Pravakwa, some wins start coming in the program, win a couple playoff games, I think that would help recruit him in these quote-unquote unhome states. Before a guy like CJ, the attention that you're probably getting is different than other places. I think, if anything, his recruitment got heightened once he committed to Notre Dame being where he was at. I think the vultures came out even stronger. It ain't hard for them to go up to Chicago right down the street from our school and out recruit us, especially when they have a Notre Dame in their top 2. Justin Scott said Notre Dame was in the top 2. You got Kirby Smart and Ryan Day there the next day.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So we going down to their home state and got guys committed. Now, we ain't just saying offer. We got a guy committed.
Top, not a top 5 guy.
Not a top 5.
Top 10.
But that just shows you that how threatened they are, because they like, if Notre Dame breaks, they in the South.
So wait a minute. You think coming to get the 7th best kid in the state of Alabama?
It's a slight,
when the top 3 were going to Alabama,
has nothing to do with the kid. Has everything to do with us recruiting the kid.
I don't think Nick Saban was intimidated, not one bit. Now, maybe the new coaching staff, but to sit here and say that Nick Saban was intimidated,
Saban don't even out of sight, out of mind. We can't even talk about Saban no more. He's the urban legend. Coulda, woulda. He's the coulda, woulda story. But now, everybody's super threatened at the fact that we even, because the thing is, what are they going to say to Notre Dame once we start poaching? Not even poaching. Once we start grabbing these guys from the quote unquote backyard states of Georgia and Alabama, what's the ramifications down the line for that? Because now, not only are we proving that we don't need to be in the conference, we don't need this structure of we can recruit in certain areas, we recruit everywhere. And that's why it matters that he's not in the top 5. And it just shows you how petty these other schools are because he's not in the top 5, it should be no problem. So what's the problem? They said if you're anything close to the top 5, you top 7, that means you can get top 5 the next time. So we got to squash it where it's at. So I think it's one of those tactics, those recruiting ploys that these teams do to offer when other teams have offered just so you don't go there. That's all it is. Because why is the attention so fervent? Because we got to commit. Damn, Keon Keeley was underrated until we found him. And then we find him now. He's the hottest thing on the market. And now he want to decommit and everybody wants to go get him.
Well, now you're talking about what Notre Dame has to do to shop down that aisle. They have to get on these kids earlier. They can't. Alabama and Georgia can sit and wait because they're Alabama and Georgia. Ohio State can sit and wait.
No,
Ohio
but I'm just saying
Ohio State is now coming after Damian Shanklin.
And we validate. I'm saying we validate kids. We validate kids to be, Notre Dame got them? Oh, okay, now we know.
Yeah, because kids will put Notre Dame in their top 10 and Notre Dame isn't even recruiting them heavily. Yes, the brand. Kids will use the brand. Absolutely, kids use the brand. Absolutely.
If you get a little gold, a little letter in the mail, you putting that on your site.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? Because clearly, you put it on your site, these coaches really gonna pay attention. They're gonna come to your school the next day. That's the easiest playoff ever. It's the hottest girl in school done said your name one time over the announcements.
Yeah.
You going around tell everybody that you on her mind all day.
Yeah.
No. But we know you're doing it to make them other girls jealous. Other girls that don't compete with, you know what I'm saying? It's an
because look, the one coach and the one program that they don't want to start knocking down dominoes in recruiting is Notre Dame.
Yeah.
They don't fight with each other.
Much leverage.
Yeah, Kirby will fight Nick Saban all day. He'll fight Ohio State and Michigan all day.
But that's a fair fight because they all got the same things going on.
They do not. They do not. They do not want Marcus Freeman to, number one, they don't want Marcus Freeman to win.
No.
And they don't want him to start getting big-time kids.
Remember what they said? Remember what they said about Obama? They didn't want Obama in the office. And then when he got in office, they didn't want him to get nothing done. Same thing, because if he got something done.
Dude, I remember my father said this. He said, I'm praying for the man. He said, because when it's all said and done, they're going to make it seem like he was the worst president of all time. And
that's exactly what they're gonna do for our guy Marcus Freeman. That's why they fighting so hard. Because just think. Marcus Freeman go in there in a quote unquote transitional period.
Mm-hmm.
And in a short 5-year period, comes out with a championship, comes out with top 5 recruiting, comes out with draftable players in the first, second round, all which are possible in these next 2 years, by the way.
Yeah.
All which are possible.
Yeah.
You got to think, okay, then you take a bigger step back and you be like, okay, Notre Dame's independent. They got their own TV deal. They got their own apparel. They've been here the longest. They don't need us for nothing. And we constantly complaining to them about them joining the conference. They mess around and win a championship the way they're doing it, not spending $13 million for an elite roster, not necessarily poaching the best players, not getting the 25-star guys. They did it on a transfer quarterback, or they did it on some in-house guy that nobody recruited. Right? Oh, it's changing the face of college football. Because now we're in the driver's seat for real. These super conferences can't do nothing with an independent that wins a championship with NIL restrictions and acceptance recruiting restrictions. Because now those schools got to pay even more. If they paying $13 million at Ohio State now, they mess around and lose and we win a championship, they're going to have to pay $26 million.
Ohio State went all in, bro. They went all in.
Pay $26 million. So this is a huge risk for people that aren't Notre Dame to let Notre Dame win. And then you put the fact that Marcus Freeman got the whole it factor thing. They're like, oh, this brother gonna be here for a long time. If we let him get Justin Scott, a Peyton Bowen, a Blackie Young, all these guys in, and he's only been there for 2-3 years, they're gonna think differently in Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Then that's the problem.
Now that's the problem.
It's easy to negative recruit Notre Dame now because we've been kicking Brian Kelly.
Oh, absolutely.
Years. And that's
absolutely. Absolutely. Ryan Day came in specifically to make sure that Notre Dame didn't get Justin Scott.
It's like
not even realizing that he would get him. They can't get him.
Yeah, look, you don't want to go down the street.
Oh, absolutely.
Because why would you want to do? So that's the whole thing. It's super easy to negatively recruit Notre Dame. And I think Peyton Bowen got a lot of that flat.
But see, that's going to be the problem moving forward, right? Notre Dame can always jump out in front and be top 3.
Yeah, we got number 1 in moms. We got whole 4 for 40 thing. I mean, we got all the stuff that you would want hindsight to a college experience. The difference is, that same benefit is also the quote unquote curse because of perspective. So if you eliminate because you got the person to eliminate the perspective. You look at Marcus Freeman right now, you go, okay, well, Notre Dame, okay, I'll give it a chance to that. But let us win. Oh man, it just will be hard to because if you can't negatively recruit Notre Dame, it's just gonna be tough to beat them. So the easiest thing teams do and coaches do right now is just negatively recruit.
Wait. Not now, because I think they're working to change it. But when people are negatively recruiting you and you actually invest into the negative recruiting, that almost proves them right, you get what you get. You get what you get, right? When you go out, look, man, I'm sorry. When you go out and you recruit at Notre Dame, you recruit Drew Pine, ladies and gentlemen. That's the quarterback that you wanted to lead your class. And then you turn around and you evaluate and say, a kid that had interest in Notre Dame, wanted to go to Notre Dame, his high school coach played for Notre Dame, you had the connection, you had the opportunity. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that head Mike Bray was from, Mike Bray either went to DeMatha or Gonzaga. Mike Bray is from the DMV. You had that connection, and you choose Tyler Buckner over the guy that's about to possibly be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft.
Oh, we known for that. We stop.
That's playing into what people say.
It was after Jimmy. After Jimmy, we stopped doing that. We stopped chasing the top 5, top 3 quarterbacks.
Okay, and Charlie Weiss was the reason you started going to get top quarterbacks, right? That was the guy that.
That's right. When Chuck Martin got in, that's when the recruiting and value of the quarterback position went up.
Mm.
That's when you started having people you remember. I mean, shit. Tommy was probably the last. Oh, no. Hendricks was probably the last of the unknown. I mean, Hendricks was pretty good in high school, I guess, but he wasn't known. When Coach Martin got in there and Ev and then they did Ev and then the whole lineage, that's when it was like, okay, recruiting's at a high point. Because when Coach Martin left, it took a dip because all those success from 12 to 16 was Coach Martin, Denbrock. That was that group. That was that recruiting cycle. Elston, Coach Booker. You had Cooks, Kerry Cooks in there. I mean, you had some guys. You know, every program goes through the change, obviously, but that's what a negative recruiting became. Because I think after 2012, just the direction of where do we go after this kind of hurt for a second.
Yeah.
In a recruiting standpoint. I mean, we've had huge change from defensive philosophy from a Bob Diaco to a Van Gorder. From a recruiting standpoint, a scheme standpoint, it was just a lot going on in that transition. So I think it impacted, but now we're so solid, and I think a lot of that is because of the structure in the coach's office. Chad Bowen stays, Al Golden stays, Marcus Freeman has got his 3rd year running. You feel good about the hires coming in. So and you got you got pieces in that staff that if they could just stay there.
Yeah.
I believe if the staff stayed with Kelly, we would have had multiple championships. It's just like, damn, when you getting all your best coaches taken out of there due to great opportunities. Now it ain't like these are horizontal moves. These are vertical. These are just you moving up.
And whoa. It would be different if the coaches were leaving and the guys getting elevated. Like you lose Denbrock or you lose Martin, and then you elevate Matt LaFleur. If that had happened, now it's a different ball game.
Different ball game. They were just all there at the same time.
They were all there at the same time.
Everybody left at the same time. It's
That's
like,
crazy.
Man,
That's crazy.
Everybody left.
Now your quarterback evaluation is like it continues.
Yeah.
And grows.
You still got to recruit quarterbacks, even
Absolutely.
though all your quarterback coaches and everybody leaving. So it's just, you got to give credit for Brian Kelly to be able to navigate that. Maybe not to a championship, but to navigate that, to be the winningest coach and to hold a position at Notre Dame, regardless of football coach, just position at Notre Dame for 10 plus years, and you not father XYZ. You gotta be tied in. You doing it right. You doing something right. And they paying you more than anybody on campus. Yeah. They wasn't good stewards to Brian Kelly. They gave that brother whatever he
earned it
until the end.
He earned it.
Did he earn it?
Getting to that national championship in 12.
But getting to ain't the same. You think
that was the big, let me tell you, that national championship was one of the biggest teases of all time, bro. It was one of the biggest teases of all time, right? Magical season.
It wasn't a tease because we just saw the differences between programs at the highest of highest.
But Cam just came on the podcast last week and said the 2011 team was more talented than the 2012 team. That's why it was a tease.
Ali. Shit.
That's why it was a tease, because it was like, yeah, we got to the championship, but once you saw us line up with Bama, it was like
it wasn't no championship game. Hell no.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So I want to talk to you about an issue that has come to the forefront, and I guess it kind of blew up even more. We already knew this. We know Notre Dame, once you commit, once you start talking about taking other visits, which according to reports CJ made was talking about possibly taking other visits. In order to do that with Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman, you have to decommit. They're not about to allow you to take official visits as a commit.
Oh, hold on, wait. He said that Marcus Freeman got a rule that if you commit,
No, they don't do official. That's been going since he was here.
Wait, hold on. So
like if you're committed to us, you can take an unofficial. You want to take an unofficial? Fine. But you're not about to be taking official visits as a commit.
Really? How would they know?
Which is difficult to do. Top kids are going to take official visits to other schools.
That's what I'm saying. We're not pulling nobody's scholarship.
Well, see, that was the same thing. Keon Keeley came to Notre Dame and said, look, I want you all to keep recruiting me. I know the rule. I love Notre Dame, but I'm really interested in taking this official visit to Alabama. Notre Dame was like, our rule is our rule. So Keon Keeley did not want to decommit, but he had to decommit because of Notre Dame's stance. Do you feel like that's something that needs to be looked at?
Yeah, I think it should be a case-by-case basis, because we know that one thing is for sure. There are no standard rules in college football that can't be modified. Because if they're not modified, they're just going to work negatively against you, like a Dabo Swinney. Yeah, in theory and in moral principle, yeah, Dabo, all that shit sounds good. Until you can't get nobody until you're getting blown out because you can't recruit right. You know what I'm saying? So it should be subjective to the individual case. Keon Keeley, yeah, we talk tough, but come on. Hell, Notre Dame had to do it for players. Tuitt, Nix, Gunnar Kiel. Shit, we took Gunnar Kiel. First of all, Gunnar Kiel committed, got the signing day, said he want to go somewhere else, and we still took him. So, you know.
Now the flip side, I want to be fair. The flip side of that we've been told is that Notre Dame would not allow official visits from committed players elsewhere. If you're committed elsewhere, if you're going to visit us officially, you have to decommit in order for us to bring you in an official visit.
Strong-arming kids, man.
Man, look, I'm just saying, look, I just want to point out that it goes both ways. They're being fair on both sides of it. But I just think you kind of...
You pigeonholing yourself.
Yes.
Pigeonholing. That's why I said it should be case by case, because at the end of the day, if Keon Keeley want to come, you better take him. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? In terms of what we need for the team, that's the same thing with... I love Jimmy Johnson's style of coaching compared to the whole, in some cases, Nick Saban style of coaching, where it's uniform, Bill Belichick, everybody, da-da-da. But at the end of the day, man, you got Tom Brady, bro. So you doing a lot to be trying to hold Tom Brady to the standard of a 7th round pick after 7 Super Bowls, you know. So I think that's unrealistic. So Marcus Freeman should play in the middle. Shit, I mean, if he's a big fan of Tressel, then he should know everything about playing in the middle. You think Terrell Pryor would have committed to Ohio State with Ohio State telling him you got to decommit, you got to this? No, they would have never got Terrell Pryor. What are you talking about? Terrell Pryor was a 2-time All-Sport, you know, Mr. Pennsylvania, all of that. Number 1 player. You think Ohio State really told this man, listen, if you commit this, you can't go nowhere? What? It's the number 1 player. Sometimes you just got to listen. I know nobody bigger than the program, but hell, you can be as tall as it. you don't got to be bigger. You can be just as big. Just as big. It's good. Because, man,
oh man,
I think because we already got recruiting restrictions, we already got NIL restrictions or whatever. Why are we making it harder to recruit? I mean, we've got it down to you can only be fitting in this column, or you can't even get looked at, and damn near get your scholarship taken. And it's even crazier because you got to be renewable every year. So I don't know. I think
and Jason Smith has a point that is fair, right? Thank you, Jason, for tapping in as always. I think you get burned more often if the policy change, but it also allows for a kid to have the what ifs and not be 100% bought in, and more likely to have once adversity hits or to leave once adversity. Why did Nick Saban leave, and why has Bill Belichick not gotten a job?
Because that style of coaching cannot work. Same with Kobe. Kobe can't go in the locker room and take kids' shoes because they say he think they trash. It just wouldn't happen.
Kobe. I think Kobe could still get away with that. We can get to that. That's petty. That's on the petty train. That story was crazy. That's on the petty train. Let's say that for the petty train. But
kids will be like, what?
I think people need to realize that it's a new era of recruiting. Recruiting is not the same.
It's not the same.
These kids that are freshmen and sophomores in high school are recognizing that they are brands, and their parents are recognizing that are brands, right? There's a reason why Caleb Williams' father has no need for an agent. Didn't Lamar Jackson's mother just do his contract?
Yeah.
Okay. But it's a new age. These players, I'm just saying, these players and their parents are understanding that they have power moving forward. We just talked about what Jay Billis said is coming down the line. Recruiting has changed.
I mean, they're talking about Caleb.
You can't sit back.
He gets a percentage of the team. What is that about?
You really think you're about to recruit a 5-star kid and not have a serious conversation about NIL?
Yeah, you're gonna have a serious conversation.
Well, why are you offended by having to have an NIL conversation with a 5-star?
That's why Saban retired. Shit, he's like, I ain't having these conversations.
It is what it is. Things have changed. It is what it is. The cat is out the bag, or the horse is out the barn. Whatever analogy you want to use.
There's no difference though between why Saban stopped coaching NFL. because he can't treat them players in the NFL like he could in college. Now the NFL players are like the college players. He like, man, I left the NFL for this.
Three, that's wrong. Bill Belichick has come out and said he's open to coaching.
Yeah, Bill's in a down bad position.
Bill Belichick knows where he stands, and he knows that people are not going to give him full autonomy like he had in New England. He knows.
Bill knows that. It's just the fact that the coaching style. They don't know how he'll be in a new era of things. And
that's the problem. He's 70-something, bro. That's the biggest issue. Not him being a GM. He's 70. And everybody that's getting hired 30, 40 years old. Like, that's where the NFL is going. Young, new, creative, and genius coaches that are on the cutting edge of where football is going, not where it's been. And that's where teams want to go. And that's what college coaches need to go in recruiting, my man. You can't sit there and not expect kids who have been given by rule unlimited visits to not take visits because they commit to you. Almost like expecting a college kid or expecting a kid that goes to high school with a high school sweetheart to not look at the girls at college because he has a high school sweetheart. I married my high school sweetheart. I also had girlfriends in college. That means I broke up with my high school sweetheart once, twice, and actually dated other girls in college. Period. I married my high school sweetheart eventually, but man, I'm going to look around. Like, these kids could still eventually end up at Notre Dame, but they're kids given limitless opportunities by rule. They're going to look around. They're going to want to look around. Even when I was still committed to my high school sweetheart as a freshman, stepping on that campus down in Champaign-Urbana, my eyes, I was not blind. I was still walking around campus like, yeah, oh my God, who is that? And we expect these kids, just because they're committed to any program, whether it's Notre Dame, to just not look around and not be impacted by coaching changes and what other kids that they know are going and wanting to possibly check out a place that one of their friends is committed to. Like, what? We're being unrealistic. That's just unrealistic. It just is. And I'm not sitting here saying I have a problem with the rule. I'm just asking whether or not the rule in some way limits Notre Dame. That's all.
I think it should be adjustable to who we're talking about.
Now that is the case, right?
But a kid,
because you played, well, once again, when they were recruiting Deuce Knight, they brought him in. Deuce Knight got better treatment than every other recruit that weekend.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, duh, he the number. Come on. And if Deuce Knight wanted to visit somewhere else, I guarantee you they wouldn't tell him to decommit. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. They would probably try to sway him not to go, but they're not gonna make no news about telling him to decommit either.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna be like, "You sure? Like, let's just, you ain't got to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't got to do this, Deuce. You like where you at. You don't have to." But they're not gonna be like, "Oh well, you gonna have to decommit." They would what? Because they know that it doesn't work like that. So yeah, if you the running back that was committed and you like a 3-star guy and love Notre Dame and all that, if you come up there and Marcus Freeman's like, "Hey, I need to talk to you," that's understandable. Because there's a value thing. Okay, if we can, Dina McCullough thinks we can get a higher star guy. So we gotta have a tough conversation. What's a higher star than Deuce Knight right now? See, you got to do it by value. If the value isn't higher, that's just like they they took up for what Antonio Brown was doing until his play went down.
Right.
When his play went down and the BS was still up there, it just didn't work. So if we're gonna trade Deuce Knight and be super tough and say, "Oh, if you want to go somewhere, you got to decommit," then we need a player better than Deuce Knight. You only do it with players that you think you can get that are better.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you do it for a guy that is the centerpiece of your class? Like, I just don't think it's realistic to do it all across the board. But I think it's a good method to use to fiddle out the role players or the guys that can add to the class. But if you are foundational pieces, it is what it is. That's why Ohio State paying $13 million. You think Notre Dame just not paying $13 million because they don't have to? No, like in the real world of top players, you're gonna have to pay something.
Yeah. And then it's not even about, like, I see comments in the chat, it's not about being a jerk. Like, everybody's welcome to their opinion. But adults get to adulthood and forget what they were like. They don't want to tell the truth about who they were as teenagers. I have to tell adults that all the time in my line of work, bro. Like, dude, you don't want to admit. I tell people, they always want to say this generation is horrible. I'm like, dude, we did the same things they do without technology. We didn't even have technology. And we were lying, we were cheating, we were cutting classes, we were going to somebody's house to party on half days. Everything that these kids do, we were meeting up downtown as groups.
No, these kids is
No. Their technology gives them the opportunity to make it better. All I'm saying, the teen pregnancy was a huge deal back when are you kidding me? Girls were walking around high school with it. For sure. It was still a big deal.
But these kids think differently now. The thoughts is just,
dude. It's technology magnifies it. But to sit up here and
act
so
like that makes it
it's
worse.
Almost the same argument. There's bad music in every era.
But there's worse music now. Sexy Red wasn't around during your time. And you know that. If Sexy Red had a song.
We had some cats like Queen Pen and stuff. There was some bad female artists.
Not Sexy Red bad.
It's magnified. That's what I'm saying. Social media technology gives the opportunity for those things to make it magnified. Yes. They were able to be hidden back in the day because they weren't as exposed, but they existed. That's my point.
Worse.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what makes it worse in a sense. But don't act like we weren't doing the same exact things that teenagers do now. Without technology, we literally use pay phones on the corner to set stuff up, bro.
Okay,
it was like,
but think about it. Even in the
street. No, let me get to my point that I want to get to is stop acting like you weren't fickle as a teenager. Stop saying that kids don't. If you don't, are you kidding me? You would call a girl in high school your girlfriend and get to school 2 weeks later and be cheating on her. Or talking to another girl behind the back.
So it was easy.
Absolutely. Like, what are we talking about? Like, kids can't get emotional and making a decision like, oh, I love this spot. I love Deuce. This is where I want to be this month. And 3 months later, things change.
It can change.
And all of a sudden,
17.
Don't commit. What are you talking about? They're teenagers.
He's 17.
They're teenagers. And we expect teenagers to all of a sudden act like mature adults and make mature adult decisions, dude. That's not how life goes. We have to understand what we're dealing with. Period. And it's not even, we're talking about the upper echelon. We're not even talking about, this is a CJ May issue because he went on IG and Deuce Knight confirmed that was the rule.
Deuce Knight was cool.
Deuce Knight was cool with it. Deuce Knight also gave him the
Deuce Knight. He gave him the Deuce Knight, yeah.
Brother on Twitter, like, all right, brother, enjoy that. You want to go to Auburn? Enjoy that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, the rule is the rule. Deuce Knight confirmed it, that was the rule. When CJ May was on IG, I'm trying to explain, like, what happened. Like, don't act like I didn't want to be at Notre Dame. This is their rule. I wanted to take visits. And then, well, can they take unofficials? Dude, it's a different visit when it's an unofficial and an official visit. Ask MALIK. And an unofficial visit and the attention you get is totally different than an official visit. It's different. Kids that are going to show up for official visits.
You're more likely going to commit on an official.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a reason Unofficial visits are not the same as official visits. It's totally different. It's totally different.
It's
like going out.
It's like you land
going
on
out with a girl.
Unofficial,
yeah.
You don't even go on the plane. You know, you unofficial, you get your own way there. Official, you land, they got the dude with your name tag.
Yeah.
Oh, this is Mr. Deuce Knight, Mr. MALIK ZAIRE. Come on, we've been waiting for you.
Right.
Got the car service.
Royal
you pull up. They got the room with all the nice assortment of gifts and treats and
right.
You know, who they thinking? You know, they put your name on the name. Oh, Mr. ZAIRE. Oh, okay.
It's different.
You getting just an amazing. You would think that
different.
Officials make people believe that that's why the rule is the rule. Oh, if they get you down, what you think happened to Tommy?
That's why they know.
Saban put that flight on Tommy and told him when he got there, he said, "Hey, you're not leaving, Mr. Reese. Just whatever you need while you're here, make the phone call. We make it happen." And he didn't leave. He been in Alabama since his stuff is still in the office at Notre Dame because he couldn't go back.
Yes.
From his official visit. That's why we had a problem with it. You ain't going down to just talk to Saban on no private plane for no reason. Yeah. You down there because you down there.
And what do we say about top kids? You have to get them on campus. If you don't get them on campus, you have no shot. Once you get them on campus, you got to get them to take an official. If the kids are not taking an official visit, more than likely, they're not coming. So this is really not about, because CJ May wasn't a top 50 5-star player, you know, but he's a very good player. Now, we're going to have to see Damian Shanklin. If they get Damian Shanklin in the class with Burgess, I don't think people will be fretting over CJ May.
Right.
He's a 4-star. He's a decommit. It's a top story right now. It is what it is. But there are players out there that they can find. But Al Washington has been on. I mean, I don't think they're going to swap out CJ May. They might. You know, they seem to like Ethan Utley. If Ethan Utley ends up in the class out of Tennessee, but I'm sure there are other kids that they've been in contact with that they're going to be in on. And I'll, you know, when those offers go out or those names rise up on the board, we'll check out their film and we'll see, you know, hey, but there are definitely comparable players to CJ May out there that they can get in the class. This is, in my opinion, this is not losing. Losing CJ May is not comparable to losing Keon Keeley. It's in my opinion, it's not. It's just not. It's just not. So, man, it is. And someone in the chat mentioned earlier, what does it all mean if you can't retain? And that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. Because I can tell you right now, Notre Dame has to continue to recruit Chris Burgess Jr. out of Chicago just as hard. Please don't approach that as it's over. Don't. Please don't approach it like that. Especially with the stat team that Ohio State has brought back in the season they could possibly have moving forward. I wouldn't fault Chris Burgess Jr. for feeling like, man, that's intriguing. Man, that defensive line they have. Yo, that's kind of intriguing. Hall of Fame defensive line coach. Like, yo, it's intriguing. And me personally, it's a confidence issue, bro. It's like being in a relationship with a girl. I get perfect example because in Chicago, this is the culture, right? This is the culture in Chicago. I went to Morgan Park. You have Kenwood, you have Simeon, you have Whitney Young. Those are just 4 of the schools where you know, yo, athletes go, real hoopers go, real football players go, some dudes, right? My wife went to Whitney Young. Whitney Young was known, Common mentioned it, and I used to love her. Like Kenwood, Hyde Park, Whitney Young was said to have the best chicks, but mostly Hyde Park and V is who I mess with. That's his lyrics. Whitney Young Kenwood says they have the best chicks, but mostly Hyde Park is which is CBS, where Juwan Howard went, was the girls that I messed with because he stayed over east by those schools. Whitney Young was always known as having the best girls in high school. I had a girl from Whitney Young. My wife went to Whitney Young. But her and her girls would go to Simeon parties on the weekend. They would go to Kenwood parties, Kenwood basketball parties on the weekend. If I'm that insecure, I'm gonna say, no, why you going to a Kenwood party? Because I know they got some hoopers over there that could be attractive to a high school girl. So my insecurity is going to make me say, oh, you can't go to that party. That's my girl. And if she wants to act a fool, then I'll go find another girl at Whitney Young. I'll go find another 4-star that's comparable or better, if that's the way you feel. And that works both ways within this rule. If they're saying that because they're saying we can go find somebody else comparable in certain situations, fine. But if you're talking about a Keon Keeley, a Peyton Bourne, a 5-star kid, or even a Deuce Knight that you want to hold on that tight to, as left as you said, that has to be an individual situation possibly moving forward. Like, because you can't put everybody in the same box. I love the integrity of the rule. I love them sticking to their guns because that's how they've been on the recruiting trail. They've been truthful with recruits. And that's the one thing we consistently hear back from parents and recruits is how honest and transparent the Notre Dame coaches and staff have been on the recruiting trail. But man, at some point, maybe not in this situation, it doesn't apply, but down the road, I mean, you can't control how Deuce Knight is going to feel come July, August. Is he going to feel like, man, I see everybody else taking official visits. Maybe I should take an official visit to the SIP. Man, maybe I should go see what Kalen DeBoer has, right? Because Kalen DeBoer at Alabama with quarterback development is totally different than Tommy Rees at Alabama with quarterback development. That's a totally different pitch and story now. Totally different. So now if it becomes appealing to him and he wants to take an official visit, no, he's not. That doesn't make him a bad person. Doesn't make him indecisive. It means he's a good player that has options. And he would be a fool not to take advantage of looking at his options. I don't think Deuce is that dude. But I'm just saying, if that did happen, there's nothing terrible about that situation on either side. That's nothing terrible. Notre Dame could still properly manage that situation and still keep Deuce Knight in the class. They could. They could. So it's interesting, man. We'll see how things go down. We'll see how things continue to transpire with this class. Still a really good class. Still a top 3 class, without question. And Marcus Freeman and the crew, I'm sure they're going to get the next guy in. Going to get the next guy in, man. They already have Christopher Burgess Jr. Damian Shanklin is in good position with Notre Dame, or they are in good position with Damian Shanklin. Joseph Reif out of Chicago, and then Dominic Hulock out of the Chicagoland area, who I love. Dominic Hulock, in my opinion, is extremely underrated. Extremely underrated. And I think fans are going to get to see that coming up. Lucky Lefty Podcast. When we come back, we'll check in. Ladies and gentlemen, we finally heard from Riley Leonard. We don't have to believe the stories. The young man told us himself what's going on with his ankle. And then he talked about the freshman class. He has some glowing remarks for this freshman class. We'll be back to talk about it right here. Lucky Lefty Podcast. We spin it different.
What's up, family? The merch shop is finally here. Lucky Lefty Network merch shop. We got it all. From the shirts to the hoodies to the hats to the nitty gritties. Come here right now. Shop with us. Come get the swag because you know, if anything else, we spin it different. You see the gritty. You see how we get down. It's elite.
Back, Lucky Lefty Podcast, ONORA Boys in the building, brought to you by Nora Whiskey, ONORAWhiskey.com. Hey, I understand. ONORAWhiskey.com and MalikZaire.com for all your lodging and travel needs. MalikZaire.com. It's so funny because I'm coming out there in March. Hey, it's a poor frog that won't praise his own pond. My daughter was in the YouTube series Pledge, and they won Film of the Year for the LA Film Festival last week. Shout out to my baby girl. She just auditioned this weekend for an ESPN commercial. Man.
Oh, is it going to be on the Super Bowl commercial time?
No, I think it's going to be around March Madness time. It's going to be around March Madness time, you know. And she is she's in her first professional play in Pasadena.
Hell yeah.
We're coming out there in March to see her in the play. They're practicing now for it every day, but she's doing that. Man, my daughter is, dude, out, man, don't make me start crying, bro. Bro, you at the beginning stage.
Yeah, I'm annoyed all the time.
All of those Saturdays sitting outside of piano lessons, all of those Saturdays sitting outside of cheer practice, acting lessons, investing money, time, sacrificing, picking up another hustle. Yo, it's worth it. That's what I would tell parents. Do everything you can to facilitate the dreams of our young people, man, and encourage them. You know, I don't care. Like Malik said, they're going to give you some tough times. They're going to give you some head shaking moments, right? They might give you some mini heart attacks on the way as they grow up. But you're going to get to a point, man, where you realize, man, that you're blessed, that God chose you. God didn't choose anybody else to bring her up. He chose me, and he chose my wife. God chose you and Raven for your two little boys, bro. He looked upon you two guys and said, yo, you're the perfect two for what I have for them in their life. And that, when that comes to a head and you start to see the manifestation of certain things in their lives, bro, it is, it's what parenthood is all about, man. It's flat out what parenthood is all about. And I had to take that moment to make sure I show love. I put it up on my IG story, bro. And I'm extremely proud. And we'll be out there in March and check it out. I'll try and make sure you and Raven get some tickets too. To come check it out. Check out the show in Pasadena.
Got to, man. I'll be there with you. Shit.
Yeah, it is. And then I get to watch it I come back out there in May to watch it across the stage, bro. That's gonna be
at any of these trips you going looking at places too?
Oh yeah, no, we'll be finalizing on the trip.
Oh, okay, you finalize when you come out.
Yeah. In March, we're finalizing.
Are you gonna be at Rancho or you decide?
No, I've kind of talked off the ledge of Rancho. I said, dude, I got to be close to the action. I cannot be
there. Rancho, you might as well just stay in Arizona.
It's like, dude, Malik is on one side of LA, and you trying to have me. I might as well fly into Ontario.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no need to fly into LAX. I can just fly into Ontario and be closer.
Yeah, if you live all the way out there, you're not taking LAX airport. You going long? You on the Burbank airport? That's a nice little airport right there. But it just wouldn't make sense to go LAX unless you want to travel an hour.
It's crazy. And so I will, just a tidbit. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe the first Notre Dame practice, and I got this because I'm gleaning off of some kids that have said they're coming in for an official visit. So I'm guessing this is not official. This is not official at all, but people have been asking me this question. So I'll just put it out there anyway, unofficially. I believe that the pro day is going to be on March 22nd. And then I believe the first spring practice is going to be on March 23rd, because I've seen, 25 prospects saying they come to Notre Dame the weekend of the 23rd. So that lets me know, okay, that's the first big recruiting weekend, which is usually lined up with the first spring practice. So by deduction, I'm like, okay, that must be the first spring practice, which would mean the pro day, which is usually the day before the first spring practice, is going to be on the 22nd. So unofficially, that's what I've gleaned from certain information. Lucky Lefty podcast. You ready? Okay, here it is, Left. You ready to hear from your quarterback, bro? You ready to hear from your quarterback?
Here we go. Here we go.
Riley Leonard and other transfers met with the media, and Riley Leonard was very complimentary of the freshman class. I like his personality, Left, because I think he's very comfortable in his skin, Left. He's just a go-lucky kid, that Southern kid. You can tell he's not trying to fake it, which I love at the quarterback position. And he started off talking to the media about his injury, and this is what he had to say.
Much of a secret. Like everybody on campus kind of saw me around moving on my electric wheelchair around campus, but I embraced it. I got surgery a couple weeks ago, and everything went super well. I'm walking around now with no boot, tightrope surgery that I sustained in last year's season. So feeling good now and ready to roll.
We gave him the injury that he got the surgery on. So I mean, damn, Notre Dame, you hurt your own player, essentially. That's why he didn't mention it. He didn't mention when it happened.
So
he
you
just
want,
said, oh, it happened last year. Yeah,
let's go back in time and tell Howard Cross, hey, take it easy.
That's your
take
quarterback.
It easy. That's right. You're damaging
the early weeks in the spring season.
If that's the case, because canned goods with dings in it, you're supposed to get some percentage off of it.
Yeah. Come on now.
So we should have got a deduction off the $2 million. Is that what you're saying?
I'm telling you, it should have at least been not $2 million, probably $1.5 million. You coming in injured because of us, or to get insurance. I don't know, but he's bubbly, fun loving, and all that. Just get right, man. Just get right.
Yeah.
It's like you too happy to be there, almost like you shouldn't be there.
But it was good to see him in workouts. It was good to see him.
Yeah, it's good to see him. It's good to see him standing up.
Right. Yeah.
And hopefully that can translate to him moving better when it comes to actual practice. But tightrope surgery, it's a relatively new thing. And damn, I would hate for that to be an impact to the season because of us. I mean, we're recruiting players, we're hurting. That's just whatever.
Lucky luck. It was funny when CJ was on CJ Pro Sites. He was like, dude, we're going to get the dudes we beat.
Yeah, we beat. How we going to elevate a dude we beat? He was a poacher guy that beat us or something, whatever. But
Riley Leonard is not the first Leonard to play at Notre Dame. His great-grandfather played for Notre Dame in the 40s. He mentioned that. He talked about that. But he also talked about why he's really happy to be at Notre Dame.
First, I first got in here and I was a little bit overwhelmed, but as soon as I got into the locker room, it became super easy to relate to these guys. They're all super inviting. Everybody took me in with open arms, even though I was, over here limping around for a couple of days. But it was all good. The coaching staff, Coach Freeman, is one of the most welcoming people that I've ever been around. He keeps his circle really tight, and fortunately, I'm in that circle now. And everybody's just been super great to me, and I'm happy to be here in South Bend.
I tell people all the time, man, you have to get to South Bend to love it. No one is going to say, yo, you want to go to South Bend, Indiana, and your first thought is, heck yeah, let's go. Let's pack our bags. No, you have to get there. You have to be around the campus, and you have to feel the aura, because there's definitely an aura walking that campus. You have to feel the history that's in the air. And you have to meet the people, man. And then you come to realize, this is a special place. This is a special place.
Yeah, it's a special place. And I think he's understanding that. But, don't be overwhelmed. Come on now. I need you to be locked in. Yeah, Marcus Freeman's circle is small for a reason. because you start losing, he's gonna have to kick you out the circle. Everybody's welcoming because we believe that you're a very good foundational piece to add to what we've been missing. And I think for Riley,
are you trying to say 10 got kicked out the circle at some point, though?
I'm not saying it. Marcus Freeman said it. Marcus Freeman the one saying it. So Marcus Freeman saying it, I don't know. I mean, I'm just backing his words up.
Oh man.
Because it's all fun loving until you start losing. Then all the good smiles and jokes and it was great. They welcome me in. It just goes away because you're not from there. You didn't start there.
Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Riley Leonard went on to talk about Mike Denbrock. And it's funny because he told a great story about Jared Parker being the one that got him to come to Notre Dame. And then he actually was at the bowl game with Duke prior to jumping in the portal and making a decision to come to Notre Dame. And he runs into Jared Parker at the bowl game after he left Notre Dame. Here's him talking about some of that and Mike Denbrock.
Obviously, Coach Denbrock's coming in. Coach Jared Parker, I actually was able to see him at the bowl game. I was with Duke and he was with Troy, so we were actually bowling. I saw him at a bowling alley. I turned around and he was there, so it was good to see him, and I'm happy for him. And then with Coach Denbrock coming in, I'm really excited. Obviously, you see what he did with Jaden Daniels, and he makes the offense super easy for us. So we've been able to meet and get it going so far, and I'm excited to see what else he can do, in my game.
Yo, let me just throw this out there. So you have integrity in recruiting, but it's obvious for 2 straight years that you have in some way, shape, or form contacted, because Wake Forest put it out there. Notre Dame was tampering with Sam Hartman before the portal. However it happened. Same thing. So you're cool tampering in the portal. But when it comes to recruiting, we got this rule. This is our rule. It's just
because
funny.
when you
It's
tampering,
just funny
you're not seen. You know what I mean? When you tampering, you're not seen. When you gotta be seen and they gotta see what you're doing. Oh, we buy the books over here. But if we don't have to be seen, we don't have to be by the books. We'll be like, we wouldn't. What do you mean? So that's why we were so adamant about Sam Hartman was playing in a bowl game. He's like, right after this, he's gonna go straight to South Bend. Yeah. What do you mean? We've been hollering at him for a minute.
Right.
But that's because we don't have to put that on record. But if we had to put on record,
it's off the books. Off the books.
We go by the books until we don't have to.
So now we G money. We making side deals.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. People Rockwood didn't just take a resume. We've been talking to Pete for a minute. We didn't aligned it with the TV deal just right. Jack ahead of his time now.
Okay. Lucky Lefty podcast. Riley Leonard then went on to not pay homage, but really give some great words about the maturity level of the incoming freshman. Check it out, man.
I see you kind of have a little moment right there with Cam Williams, but how's it been with these young guys?
Yeah, Cam, man. He's a funny guy. It's been incredible. These guys are really, really talented and very mature as well for freshmen. So that whole class has been really cool to meet with. I'm an undergrad transfer, so I was with them the first week doing all the freshman orientation stuff all over again. So I got to know them pretty well, and like I say, all great guys and all super talented.
So that's great. He also, once again, we don't have to ask, he's not a grad transfer. He's an undergrad transfer. He spent the majority of time. Go ahead.
In fairness, he probably hadn't been around that many talented players in one class. He was the best player in Duke.
Mm-hmm.
Even the best player in the freshman class.
Mm-hmm.
So that's got to be exciting for him to be like, okay, I got to lean on some guys. I can lean on people, So that's a good feeling. At the same time, by saying he's not an undergrad, does that mean he's graduating this year? You got 1 year to graduate? Like he's finishing school undergrad at Notre Dame?
Yes, because he went through the same orientation that the freshman went through. That's why he's been spending time with them as an undergrad. And he has the possibility of playing 2 years then left because he would have an undergrad year and then a grad year. Unfortunately, I think Riley Leonard and his people would love to have a great season in Notre Dame and go to the NFL. Because the quarterback class next year is very light. Just off the top hand, name me the number one prospect in next year's draft at quarterback.
Next year?
It's going to take you a while. I mean, be honest. Like,
probably dude from Miami, Cam Ward. He'll be in the conversation. You got Jaden Rashada will be in there. I think he'll start next year.
No, it's only his second year, though. He has one more year.
Oh.
Yeah, it's his freshman year.
Malik Murphy may make something shake at Duke. But I can't think of no Quinn Ewers, obviously.
But Quinn Ewers doesn't give you Caleb Williams vibes. Quinn Ewers is okay. Like I said, the quarterback class is light. Riley Leonard could mess around and be a top 5 quarterback in the draft next year.
By default, yeah.
If he has a good year. I mean,
somebody pops. There's some
well,
guys.
somebody pops every year, somebody pops. But I'm just saying, we knew Drake May and Caleb for 2 years coming into this year. We already knew. Like, they were that good. Like, we know those dudes are going to be the top 2 quarterbacks. And then Jaden Daniels pop.
And then you got Jackson.
And then Michael Penix. Yeah.
Jackson Dart
would be up there. Absolutely.
Maybe Will Howard. Just because he got everything he needs. I mean, shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Everybody else is an unproven dude, honestly.
Yeah. That's true.
Oregon.
Fafita,
Dante might mess around and
Fafita's only a sophomore. Matter of fact, breaking news broke last night. The news broke that Kalen DeBoer might be in trouble for tampering with Fafita, trying to get him to come to Alabama.
I thought he recommitted to Arizona before Kalen even got there.
He did, but see, this is the tank because somebody in the chat was like Sam trying to explain. Sam, Notre Dame made contact with Sam Hartman while he was playing in a bowl game or preparing for a bowl game with Wake Forest. It doesn't matter whether or not he's a grad
before he played in the game. Like,
it doesn't matter if he's a grad transfer. He's still a player for Wake Forest. And this is not something to throw Notre Dame under the bus. This is college football, man. This stuff happens all the time. Hey, dude, that's the transfer portal. You start, kids are being contacted in the middle of seasons by Power 5 schools or non-Power 5. Like, dude, G5 schools, their rosters are getting rated midway through the season. Like, this is the culture now in the transfer portal. I didn't bring that up to make Notre Dame look bad. I brought it up to say, they don't have a problem tampering.
It wouldn't be tampering if they had agents, right? If he was contacted, they was contacting his agent, it wouldn't be tampering.
I'm not going to sit here and say I know the nuances of everything. I don't.
I'm just thinking like NFL. NFL, they would contact the agent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Be like, you got a couple teams, you're coming up on your 1 year, whatever.
Dude,
so I do think there's a process to it, but what is tampering?
Michael Campbell, stop. The NFL has nothing to do with tampering in college football. Nothing. He was a player. You cannot contact a player that is still on an active roster for another school.
I just think that's an unrealistic thing that I think that's
that's my thing. It's unrealistic. Like,
what's the formality?
How do you prove that it's being done? You know it's being done, but how do you prove? Because, you tamper.
It's no different than paying players before NIL came out.
Tampering was taking place before NIL in this era. Tampering was taking place 10 years ago.
Yeah, easy.
It was taking place 10 years ago. It's not different.
Dirty Mackin has been around since.
It's not different because he's grown. What kind of logic is that? It's different because he's grown and graduated. He's literally in the bowl game playing for Wake
And they were
Forest.
talking on TV about him going to Notre Dame.
Absolutely. That's not stop. And Tommy will probably flat out tell you now, yeah, I literally went.
Because how does the TV know that Sam is choosing between NFL or Notre Dame as he's playing in the game?
He's grown, so that makes it different. What are you talking? Oh my God. Dude, some people will go to any length to defend Notre Dame, bro. That's dangerous. But that's dangerous, bro.
But tampering is, I don't know.
Tampering is not something new. That's the thing.
Exactly.
We jokingly brought it up.
It's the same thing as the Michigan cheating thing. Everybody cheat in terms of stealing signs and using them, and everybody does that.
A bowl game is an invitational game. My brother, he's still on the roster. It doesn't matter what it is.
We saw what how they coaches felt. It was like,
no one cares. We jokingly brought it up to say, yo, just in contrast to them being so hard in the recruiting with this rule, they
we
don't
definitely
care about
are two-faced on it for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
We're definitely, because it's like, why we go so hard on these restrictions, yet we tamper before the season ends just so we know we're secure in our transfer. Like, I'm sure Sam and Leonard didn't even take no other calls or visits.
Man,
they probably knew where they was going right after the season.
So, it's just something. It's funny to me. I don't know if it's funny to me.
Well, Ben Scarron, because you got
hilarious
to
me.
Get transfer commits that fast after the season.
It's hilarious to me.
And Brandon Joseph just commit day after the transfer portal open. How? Right? How did they commit that fast after it opened? It's like transfer portal open, boom. Oh, we got 3 commits right now. We have guys. How? You telling me we recruited dudes in one day?
There's some people that want to, they do. Some people look at Notre Dame like they look at their pastors, bro. They don't want their pastors to listen to worldly music. They don't want their pastors to have intimacy with their wives. They don't want, dude, he has to be priest-like. Like, dude, you're my pastor. You can't do anything worldly. You can't go to watch worldly movies. Like,
they said
Christian movies. It's crazy.
And that's how you can go to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Exactly. Dude, Donovan McNabb's pastor, Apostle Wilson up here, is good friends with my dad. The dude literally preached a message and hopped on the plane and went to the Super Bowl when they faced the Patriots, bro.
He like, bro, I could go.
Dude, and people were mad because his message was, dude, this is a true story. People got mad because he was like, man, that ain't right. How you going to give us a 15-minute message? Donovan McNabb gave him tickets to the Super Bowl, my dude. What are you talking about? You didn't see that 15-minute message coming? I could have told you that message was going to be 15 minutes. 15 minutes to the airport. To the game.
And he checking his watch the whole time.
Yo, it's crazy.
He's like, oh, I got to get out of here.
It's crazy. And that's how Notre Dame should be. And like, just be pure. Like, don't do anything. Like, no. You can't say that Notre Dame tampers or we have to explain away why they did it. No, you don't. Notre Dame is just fine, dude. It's okay.
You're just funny acting. That's how it's okay
to laugh. If you can't have a sense of humor about things surrounding Notre Dame football, I don't know what else
won't
to tell
make
you,
it because it's too unserious with these moves that we make. Like we don't take the buyout on the coach and then have a whole letter for our head coach to repeat talking about he just didn't want to come. You got to laugh at that stuff. Because I know you don't believe that the dude just automatically was like, after taking these visits and flying all the way out here, oh, I just didn't want to come. Come on, man. You got to come on. And then how your head coach defend you. Yeah, he didn't want the money. What are we talking about?
Look, Lucky Lefty podcast, man. Man, enjoy life. Enjoy conversation. That's all it is.
You're going to burn yourself out thinking we good stewards and then wondering how we getting all this other stuff done. You're going to burn yourself out. Just
Jaden Harrison, man, transfer, kick returning wide receiver. Oh, man. He walked in here a couple years back and beat Notre Dame left, and he talked about that. What is it like now being a part of the program? This is what he had to say.
Speed is something that I pride myself on, and that's why I bring to the receiver room, along with other guys such as Jaden Faison, Chris Mitchell, Cam. So,
what is the fastest of that group? You guys raced yet?
No, we haven't raced yet.
You've played in Notre Dame Stadium before. Is it strange coming back? And I guess, was it like playing against Notre Dame and now being a player for Notre Dame?
It's crazy because on my visit, they took me to the stadium and I got the same chills that I got when I played here. So the transition it was not crazy. It's ironic that we beat them and now we back and playing it, but I feel great being a part of this program.
Yeah, he had to just say that
Faison was the first player that he mentioned in the receiver room. Is he up?
First of all, his name is Jordan Faison, not Jaden Faison.
He said Faison. He must mean
no,
Faison.
He mentioned, but that's to me. I took that as these are the guys I've been hanging with. I've been hanging with Jordan Faison. He said
Jordan Faison is a staple. I'm only making the point that Jordan Faison is a staple in the room.
He should be a staple in the room.
I mean, he top 2 steal. He top 2 receiver steal in the room. I just think if he's not All-American by the end of this, if they don't have no 30 for 30, this special walk-on to become draft pick story, then the talent in the room just not good enough. I don't know.
Yeah. It is.
Because, man, I mean, everybody loved Jordan Faison. I'm like, okay, he must be a number 1 receiver or something. If guys coming in talking about, that's Faison's fast.
Yeah.
Not JT, not Dion, not – okay. Hey, there we go.
So it was kind of a collective too, because he mentioned Chris Mitchell, another transfer, but then he mentioned Cam Williams, who seems to be garnering a lot of respect. Riley Leonard talked about
Cam Williams got to play day one. I mean, if Jaden Grayhouse playing first year,
and I know we're just talking about workouts, but we're talking about at least they must see something
Cam
in the
Williams
kid
is ready to play. Come on now, the quarterback even was talking about it,
right?
And we talking about guys that just got here talking about these freshmen like they part of the team. So I think that Cam's impact should be similar to how Greathouse was. You know, he should be in the game, catch a few. Like spring game would be huge for Cam, like it was huge for Jaden Grayhouse. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
It's just somebody got to be a number 1 receiver. That's what we want out of it. Speed, we adding that. We got that. We got some speed. But shit, we had speed. We just didn't throw it to him. So now it's about
Is it that we couldn't throw it to him or we just didn't?
Man, we just getting more and more picks. I think it's just a combination of a couple things, but good grief. Let's not waste the talent in the room because we've always had the talent in the room. Let's just not waste it. So Mike Brown.
I won't say we always had the talent. There's been some talent there the previous 2 seasons.
When you say, I'm saying talent to win football games.
They've proven they can win football games.
What are you doing? Go get daddy's phone.
You know what he's doing, dude. He's like, I'm making my cameo. That's what he's
doing.
Turn
the computer off.
Lucky Lefty podcast. But no, I have good vibes. I can't wait to see these wide receivers in the spring. I really can't. I believe it's going to be one of the most important evaluations, I think, not only for the staff, but just, for those that are going to be in attendance and watching, and even for recruits, big time wide receivers, right? Like a Meadows coming up.
When the last time we had a Michael Floyd? It's probably been since Michael Floyd. Because Will Fuller was different than a Michael Floyd's impact on the team. Michael Floyd was like the team. Will Fuller was just the passing game. Because we had other parts of the team.
Michael Floyd was a day 1, but Michael Floyd had Golden Tate as a vet.
True.
You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, Michael Floyd was a dude from day 1. From day 1. I can agree with that. So, one of my favorite interviews, Chris Mitchell, wide receiver transfer from Florida International. And I'm going to save the best for last. He talked about Notre Dame recruiting his younger brother who eventually chose Penn State and how the way they treated his brother. Well, he talked about it right here, Left.
I'll say at FIU, it was kind of like guys were just playing just to play. I feel like here at Notre Dame, everybody's trying to get to the next level. Everybody's trying to win every day in and day out. There's a goal that everybody's trying to accomplish, and just feels like that's what I want to be a part of, win a national championship. So,
you say you talked to a couple of guys on your visit. What's been the conversations with the receiving corps, and now that you've been here and kind of got to know their skills and what they bring to the table?
No, the conversation's just been, playful, just getting to know the guys, connecting with them. Just know we all got a common goal, which is, to compete with each other and get each other better every day and just go out there and make plays for the team.
So how do you feel about that? First, the wide receiver room. The wide receiver room.
I appreciate the fact that he sees the level of where he's coming into. And you can feel that he's grateful to take on this opportunity as opposed to just being like, oh man, I'm around all these things. He's like, okay, I see that they actually trying to do like I'm doing. And I think that's where the competition starts. Okay, you at the work level that I feel like I'm at. We all trying to, now it's a room full of the same mindset. Okay, now who's going to go out there and get the football? I think that's a great starting point. And it's good to hear that about the receiver room, that everybody's like, okay, we all trying to get right. Change your life. Now, I wish Leonard was in that room. They'd be like, look, change our lives. Riley throws the football. But to have that in there, and then you mix that with Mike Brown, who's coming in there adding the technicality and all this stuff needed to be successful, I think you got a nice mix of something that we didn't have last year from a collective standpoint. It wasn't like guys had secret deals coming in like, oh, I'm about to get all this playing time. It's just a matter of time. It looks like it's pretty open to be, okay, who's going to be the dog because we need one. And everybody's going to get their chance, I'm assuming. Like, I feel like all these receivers, they're going to try to test out all of them. Because we still need number one receiver regardless of who we got right now. We still need somebody to be number one. And they'll have their proven time during spring and thus forward. But to know that everybody's competing, that's the good part so far.
I absolutely agree. I love what I heard, especially that B portion where he talked about the competition. And like, yo, and also that's,
but it's competition to do better the next rep, not competition as in like, oh, I see it as, JT sets the standard, him and Jordan phase on, and then the guys build off of that, use that.
Yeah, I agree. And I love the fact that Left, you cover Florida International and other non-Power 5, G5 teams. You covered Chris Mitchell, I believe, a couple of his games this year. And for him to readily notice, like, oh, this is different. Like Notre Dame, what do we say all the time? Like, dudes better understand coming in. Like Notre Dame is.
We're not here to just play to be playing.
Right.
We're playing to get degrees. And I appreciate that when I was at Notre Dame. Everybody generally was like, okay, if I made it here, that means I'm one step closer. Not, oh, I made it here, this is it. Because everybody in my class, well, the years I was there, shit, it feels like 70% went to the league. Now, right. I was on the latter part. I was on 30%. At least I got a chance. But there's 70%. And guys still playing now from my class and from the classes when I was there. So the turnover ratio to NFL, guys are going to get a chance once you get to Notre Dame for sure. It's just a matter of maximizing it as a unit when you're there. That's the difference between NFL and Notre Dame is that, yeah, individually, you're going to be fine. But can you put it together collectively with everybody on the same page?
Absolutely. Lucky Lefty podcast. He also went on to talk about, hey, Left, now, it seems like the wide receivers are getting better and talking about the quarterbacks. And maybe it's because the quarterbacks are just simply better than the previous quarterbacks. But here's Chris Mitchell talking about, spending time with the quarterbacks.
I'm pretty quick with Steve and CJ and Kenny and Riley. We've been throwing, weekly, trying to just build a connection here and there. So it's been good with them, just connecting with them on a personal level, off the field. It's been good. So I'm really looking forward to it.
I know it's been early, but what's just the overall feel of this offensive group so far?
It feels like they're already connected. I'm just here, to just come in to build on what they already have going on. So just trying to find my role and find my place in the offense and just being as electric as I have been through my college career. So I know that would be a good help to them.
First of all, let me tell you why I like this kid, bro. He talked about being part of the team, but he made sure you knew I'm electric. And I'm coming here to be electric. It was like a humble brag, bro.
Which is different. It
was a humble brag. Yes.
It's like I acknowledge the talents of the other guys in the room. I'm not maybe the possession receiver or the tallest dude like a Bo Collins or a Dion, but hell, I'm electric. I know something. Hey, That's how they got me here. They told me in the recruit they was missing that. And they may got it with Cam, but Cam Young, I'm ready to go right now.
Absolutely. And for him to point that out, but also, do you think, am I reading too much in this? When they first asked him about the quarterbacks, I love the fact that he said, yo, we throwing. We've been throwing since I got here, which is like, yo, cool. Quarterbacks, wide receivers are getting together, they're throwing, they're learning each other, learning movements, learning routes, reading each other. But do you think there's something that can be read into as far as him mentioning Steve first, as if Steve is the one leading the charge when it comes to the receivers and the quarterbacks getting together, which I would expect with him being seen as the incumbent, even though Riley Leonard comes in as the favorite to be the starting quarterback via the transfer portal. But I love hearing Steve mentioned first. Now, the order after that, because he said Kenny and then ended up saying Riley last. But having Steve to be mentioned first, I love hearing that. Regardless of what Riley Leonard is and who he's going to be, I love hearing that Steve Angeli is going to be a problem in a good way. He should be a problem. He should feel like, yo, I'm the dude. I'm the one that's been here. I'm the one that represents Notre Dame. I'm the one that's gotten better. I'm the one that's coming off a great game in the Sun Bowl. He should definitely be confident and be the leader in that quarterback room, going through these workouts, going through the private workouts with the wide receivers, strength and conditioning.
Don't you love it? I think the excitement level is there for the offense to take on an identity. Mm-hmm. The offenses in the past were offenses that were stale. They were like, oh, we just going to take whatever comes, we just going to rock with it and go step by step. It just feels like this receiver unit, the quarterbacks coming in and kind of the sense of the team is that offensively, we're ready to embrace this change of being the progressive steps that we need to take coming from Denbrock. So Denbrock adding that believability. Oh, Riley Leonard mentioned it in the press conference. Yeah, Denbrock's here. I saw what he did with Jaden Daniels. That's encouraging. Mm-hmm. Before, I'm sure Riley Leonard couldn't say that about the Notre Dame offense. He's like, well, they got a new dude that was in-house with nothing to say that he could be the Troy head coach the next year. But hey, it's Notre Dame. Now he's like, okay, I can look forward to the development. Carnell Tate always talked about it. He said, yeah, I like Notre Dame, but who they putting in the league at receiver? Because I go to Ohio State right now and just look at the list. Now, if Carnell saw Denbrock, he's like, okay, I know he got Jaden Daniels, Malik Neighbors. They got some dudes. I can believe that development standpoint. So if anything was changed from offense the years before to right now is the believability that we have an identity and the believability that guys can develop and actually get somewhere. Not purely based on if I wait 3 years and I play, I'm going to get a chance. It's like, no, I got a guy that I know can put me in a Biletnikoff conversation, a Heisman conversation. Mm-hmm. The running backs are already the lead dog. We chasing them from a productivity and value standpoint to the offense. If the receivers just get to the level of the running backs, in terms of impact, you got a top offense with a J.J. McCarthy style of quarterback. So it goes back to we don't need Riley to be Superman. We just need him to be the man. Yeah. That's Superman. Just be the man.
Yeah.
You like the feeling you get on, hey, oh, you Riley? Oh, yeah. Keep that part.
Yeah.
We don't need you Brady Quinn Jr. No, we don't need that.
Yeah. Lucky Lefty podcast. It is amazing that in a short time, this cat Chris Mitchell has put this dude in front of the mic every other week. Please put him in front of the mic after every game, every practice. Left, I'm about to play for you a 15-second clip. And all I'm going to say is, Chris Mitchell, talk your talk, boy. Talk your talk.
People don't talk about my speed enough. I feel like they think I'm like a 4.4 guy, but I'm much faster than that, and they'll know soon.
Wait a minute.
He said they'll know soon. It was good cutoff. It was good cutoff.
People don't talk about my speed enough. I feel like they think I'm like a 4.4 guy, but I'm much faster.
Hold on, fam. I'd be cool if you was a 4.4 dude.
Yeah,
Wait a minute. Really cool. We're talking about Notre Dame receivers.
Really cool.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'll be really
Bro, you're not offending me if you're a 4-4 dude, Chris Mitchell.
I'm sorry, we offended you by saying you had a 4-4.
Yes,
we was trying to boost you up.
Sir, Chris Mitchell, you are not offending Lucky Lefty Podcast if you're a 4-4.
I'm sorry, these writers offended you by saying you was a 4-4. I didn't know you was that fast. I knew you was fast. We was trying to give you the.
But dude, we're giving you the 4-4.
They disrespected me in the article. They said I was a 4-4.
Right.
He said they'll see though. I'm like, wait, we not saying you can't.
I'm like, fam. Hey, I'm all for it. Let's go. Show us.
Yeah, show us. Show me.
I
thought 4-4 was good. I guess that's not good enough.
The last I checked, 4-4 is good. The last I checked.
Hell, Will was fast at like a high 4-3, and that got a lot done. So you're telling us you way faster? Oh,
bro,
shoot.
I'm like, wait a minute, hold on now. Hey, you don't have to oversell yourself. Because if you don't have to
we've seen the 70 plus receptions, so you got to be some kind of fast to get 70 receptions.
You already told us you're electric. You already told us that. I believe you. The film says you're electric. I believe you. Bro, if you want to tell us you're a 4-3 dude, have at it. Have at it. All I'm saying is, if you are a 4-4 dude, we love it. We have no problem with it. He's talking about 4-4 like it's embarrassing, Left.
If it's embarrassing you to say 4-4, then don't let nobody else in the room talk about their 40 speed. If it's embarrassing, we mentioned that. Then 4-4, is that not the standard in the room? I thought 4-5.
I don't know if 4-5 might be the standard recently.
Now you talk about 4-4 is disrespectful. My bad. Shoot, you better tell the QBs that. I think the QBs thinking you 4-4.
And I'm like, man, I guess he's been reading all the articles on the platforms that cover Notre Dame saying he's a 4-4 guy. He's like, man, I'm offended. Get it right. Edit your stories. Get it right. Man, that was funny.
Yeah, he probably got all the reporters like, wait a minute, we didn't mean to say that. Wait, hold on. If you telling us that, let's rewrite the article. We can update it. We didn't want to say 4-4 to disrespect.
Chris, before you go, what's the one thing you think, people are going to be shocked that you bring to Notre Dame and bring to the offense? Yeah, man. I hear y'all been saying I'm a 4-4. No, I'm much faster than that. Now, I don't know how much faster you can be. I don't know how much faster you can be than a 4-4.
What's up with kids biting? Did your daughter ever bite you? What's up with the biting thing?
Paul, I was about to. No, my wife is a biter though.
Oh my, okay.
And I'm not being crazy with that. My wife literally walks around the house during the day and would just walk up and just bite me on my shoulder.
Just bite you,
bite my arm. And I'm like, what is wrong with you, dude? She does it to my daughter too.
What's the obsession here?
My wife is
my bad, man. I just had to ask that question.
She's like, stop talking about me. I only do it to the people, the loves of my life. So I'm like, okay. I'm like, all right.
However you split the apple on that one. I get it.
Man.
Yeah. Chris Mitchell, thank you for that. He didn't hit us with because first of all, I believe Braden Lindsey ran probably low 4.443.
Right.
He never felt disrespected about it. He didn't know he was that fast. That's the difference. Braden Lindsey didn't know he was 4.4. Chris Mitchell's like 4.4. Don't be telling me that. But Chris Mitchell also from down there in Florida where 4.4 is slow. You say 4.4, that's like cracking on you. You know what I mean? That's they trying to make fun of you and stuff.
We are not. Marshall says, hold on a second. We're gonna have a dude who can catch a ball and run away from defenders.
Yeah, no more catch tackle. No more catch tackle. They're gonna be under the 225 spectrum. So that gives us weight to have yards after catch.
Man, look, that is absolutely fantastic. That's why I said I can listen to Chris Mitchell all season. Spring, fall camp, during the season. Give him a mic, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure he's going to give us some enjoyable quotes over the next few months. Lucky Lefty Podcast. All right, let's hear from LOREN LANDOW, the guy that's pretty much in charge until spring practice begins. He's spending the most time with these young men, and he talked about why he chose Notre Dame.
I'd say the question that was asked to me in the interview process was why college football, and I said, well, it's Notre Dame. I said, you know, I love working with athletes of all levels, but I think the thing that intrigues me with college is the ability to develop. You know, having the time to develop them is key, and you just don't have that in a lot of other in a lot of other aspects of our field.
Okay. All right. Sounds good enough for me. And then Loren Landau went on to talk about his overall philosophy and, you know, making sure that Notre Dame is improving piece by piece.
The biggest thing is, like I said, going off of development, and everybody's at different stages. And looking at that, I look at the holistic athlete, you know, looking at all the things that are trainable qualities, from mobility to strength to speed to power, and how to actually coordinate those things all together at the right time to unleash optimal results. And obviously the cornerstone is as the fitness and the conditioning as well.
Fitness and conditioning will be the cornerstone of what he's trying to establish. Left LL Nation chat, man. Did you feel like, do you watch Notre Dame football games and feel like the team is in shape for the most part? Just a general question. I don't have a point to prove or make. I'm just asking from your general observations, does Notre Dame, or has Notre Dame the last 2 years come across as a team that's in shape?
Yeah. In shape for what?
I'm just asking in general.
I think it's never been a shape thing. It's just been a talent thing, like a speed.
Okay. I can see that. Loren Landau. What he brings, what do you add to the Notre Dame program?
I can give I've seen this guy do this, and I've seen him do it at this level. And here's what separates the great performers at this level versus that level. I think that's intriguing to our student athletes. I think they want to hear about those guys and what did they do specifically. So I think that's part of it. And I just think, I've been able to see a lot of different programs from the college level. When they come into us for the off-season program, I can see where there were gaps in different college programs and sit there and identify them and give our guys the best program. So when they do go on to that next stage, they're ready to hit the ground running.
Now, he clearly has a plan that's talking about the NFL. I've been there. I've done that. I've worked with these NFL guys. I know what you need to do to not only develop on this level and be at the best on this level, but to get you ready to go to the next level. Now, if that becomes part of the recruiting pitch as well, in connection with what Loren Landau brings as far as strength and conditioning and performance, football performance, I'm all for it. It sounds good. I mean, we have to sit back and wait and see for the results and what they are, but I'm all for it. It sounds great. And I did reach out to Cam. Cam McDaniel did reach back out to me or text me and say, yo, I watched him. He really was general, really didn't get into specifics. He said, I want to really get a chance to get up there and talk to him myself. But, Cam said he's probably going to put something together just from the general things to, what he feels about what Loren Landau said.
Yeah, and I just think that, you can't really miss these days on a strength and conditioning side of things. And I think whatever he's applying, I just hope the kids get the best out of it. That's all. I mean, 1,000 ways to skin a cat. I'm sure there's 1,000 ways to lift some weights. But I do think that the vision aligns with Marcus Freeman and what he wants. And I think that's all you can really ask for up until the point where you don't think it works anymore. So can this equate? I don't think that you'll see, we got Loren Landau now. We got 3 more wins on the schedule. I think it will just come over time. And you talk about the size of these kids, now we went from recruiting 265 and turning them to 310. Now we're getting 310 in, trying to maintain, probably cut 10 pounds and maintain that for 3-4 years. So the style of players that we're recruiting, it's about, can we maintain them? Because now we're getting guys that are coming in ready to play, as opposed to coming in and like, oh, we gotta give them 2 years of development and stuff. So I think it changes how you think about strength and conditioning, as opposed to building a program from guys that you're not expecting to play out the box, right? How are you managing O'Reilly, Leonard coming after surgery, putting them into your program with 6 months of potential growth, right? How do you get the most out of that? Very specified, niche type of training. It's not like Riley Leonard's a true freshman and you got all these years. It's a niche position, especially a Chris Mitchell who's been in somebody else's strength program for 4 years. So you're like, okay, how do I get the most out of you? You fast. I only got 5 months with you. How do I adjust that to the program? So not only is it changing for coaches, it's changing for strength and development programs across the country. You managing transfers. You got guys that you are excited about, then he leaves after a year. So now how are you proving development, right? And your talent is leaving and your talent coming. So it's a hogwash. I feel that has to be smoothed out. And it's just a matter of time that, you see the results from it. But to have somebody locked in and has a belief in your vision, I think you can't go wrong with that.
Lucky Lefty podcast. It is.
And the best thing he said, by the way, was it's not about NFL or pro or college. It's Notre Dame.
Facts.
He said Notre Dame called me. So I had to pick up the phone. It wasn't a football job that was, okay, football. It was Notre Dame called me. The brand called me. And so when that calls you, it's a different calling. He probably has what Al Gold say. Al Gold said the same thing. He said, man, yeah, I love the coach stuff, but it's Notre Dame, dog. Like, probably why he hadn't left yet from a prestige status standpoint. Because, I mean, come on. He probably like, man, I could go get a job now.
Yeah.
But if I'm the DC at Notre Dame rocking out for this tenure, man, who knows where you can go from there.
Yeah, and I just love that there seems to be a new message hovering around Notre Dame. It goes back to what I said, like, the example I gave, the pastor example. It's like, dude, it was almost taboo for like people connected to Notre Dame to utter NFL. Like, don't say that. Like, when you come to Notre Dame, it's different. We're education first. And I was happy that Sean Sevillano said, I'm coming to Notre Dame to get to the NFL. Like, all of the other stuff is great. I love Notre Dame, but I'm coming there to take a spot early and to get to the NFL. And I was like, thank you. Because it's actually okay to mention the NFL around Notre Dame. It's not about to magically change everything. Because there's a recognition that you get players in the program that have aspirations to go to the next level. And if those aspirations are at the top of the list, it doesn't make them a bad person. Doesn't make them someone above the brand. It's called a dream. That's all it's called. It's simply called a dream. They have a dream, and they probably had it since they were kids. And it's okay to mention it at a place like Notre Dame, where the education is great. It is.
I think it's like some people just can't believe you can get all in one.
Yes.
They don't believe you can just go to a football program that stands on football business, but also you can have something outside of that. They just like, you going to Notre Dame? Oh, you just want to be secure for the stable for the rest of your life after graduation. No, I mean, we trying to win now. And I think Marcus Freeman is adding that believability that, we can go and have a 4 for 40, but in them 4, we finna come out with some rings and things. We finna, obviously Notre Dame is quote unquote securing you a career. Yeah. Well, you can have a career in football too. How about that?
Man.
That's not you get 2 for 1.
Yeah.
People don't believe you get 2 for 1. You go to Ohio State, they be like, you going for football. Okay. Notre Dame, they like, okay, you can do football or be a little civil engineer or something. You might learn a skill. Hell, nowadays, hopefully Notre Dame starts putting trades in. You start getting an electrician coming out. You really be balling.
Your starting left tackle going into the spring, wants to be an all-pro, Hall of Fame left tackle, and wants to become an NFL general manager, bro. He's already laid it out. Like, dude, this is the plan that I see for myself. And that's great. Yes, I want a left tackle that wants to go to the league, that wants to be a first-round left tackle. You're darn right I do. He also talked about having this team peaking during the playoffs, Left.
Right, we have a long runway right now, which is great because it's about development. And so the goal is to make sure we're getting in the right work, because there's something called the rate of training involution. The work that I do early in the off season leads me into better gains for the in season. So ultimately, we're laying that foundation right now to be able to pull on things later in the year. So there's some aspects where you don't have to go as hard in different aspects of conditioning because you put down such a broad foundation. Ultimately, you can build the house, but if the foundation isn't broad enough, you're going to have problems with it. So I love having the long runway.
When you first came in, what was the message that you gave these guys, and then also the expectations that you have for them?
Yeah, I would say with this crew, like, the message was the same, whether it was the freshmen or everybody here. It was ultimately, it's about the details. The details matter. We talk about the details. We talk about, every second matters. I pull out my stopwatch in my first meeting with the guys, and I had somebody hit start and stop as fast as they could on it. And you get 0.2 of a second. You get 0.2 of a second, then I tell them, I said, that's the difference between a 4.6 and a 4.4 with what you just did with your finger. That tells you that everything that we do matters. And so it's been that type of message the whole way through. The details matter. Leadership, how we lead matters. How we lead you guys, and then how the players lead themselves.
He won the press conference, in my opinion, bro. Because people had him under the microscope because of their love for Matt Bayless. And they're like, man, what is this guy going to do? What makes him so great? What makes him so different? Matt Bayless was able to get us to this point. Okay. Maybe Matt Bayless wasn't able to get Notre Dame to that next level. Or what, we don't know. I'm just speculating. But what I do know is that what I heard from Loren Landow, the broad foundation, because he's right. If the foundation that you establish during these winter workouts is not going to lead you to peak performance later in the season, then what are we doing? Like, if you're peaking in the spring and peaking in the fall and then losing productivity going into the season and the end of the season, then that's not what we're doing. That's not what we want. And so
definitely not what we want. Shit.
No, that's definitely not what we want. So he wants Notre Dame to peak at the time they need to be peaking, right? November and going into the playoffs, bro. That's when
everybody does well in the beginning of the season. You've been well trained, you've been doing all the right things.
You're tired of hitting each other.
But when it comes to November, when you don't want, it's like it happens to everybody. It hits a point in the season, you're like, all right, this is a little too long.
Mm-hmm.
I love football and everything, but practices when it's getting colder is okay. We've been doing it since it's been hot outside. So now it's a mental thing. And that's really what I've always wondered, in my opinion, where the strength coaches really come in at is the end of the season. The last couple games.
Yeah.
How are you mentally keeping guys locked in? Because lifting is lifting. You're doing power cleans and deadlifts for 8-12 weeks. Give me something where I can mentally be here to be like finish strong. And that's where I think the strength and conditioning coach needs to come in 2 parts. Before the season, train to get ready. And then at the end of the season when you need to, because guys are going to fall off. It's natural. Numbers are going to decline a little bit. But it's those that can stay just good enough. Right above average is where you see the separation, which is what Notre Dame needs to have. We need to have a separation of ourselves when it comes to getting into these, playoffs, where we look like a refreshed team. Michigan looked pretty good 3-4 weeks out after the regular season in that championship. They looked pretty good. They looked still strong. They still look like they had that identity. And vice versa, it didn't look like that for the other team.
Yeah.
So interesting.
Yeah, Lucky Lefty Podcast. Great show today, Left. Thanks for everybody that tapped in. Once again, Audio Edibles over at CFB Nation each and every day. Tap in with us. YouTube, subscribe, share, the thumbs up, smash it for us. It helps us greatly. All comments that you post during and after the show, we respond to all, man. It's a Lucky Lefty podcast. You already know. We will continue to spin it different. You know what time it is.
Petticoat, petticoat, petticoat junction.
It's time to get petty.
Oh, we did a good job executing.
Are you upset with something? And fire up the Petticoat Junction train.
I just don't like you.
You don't?
No.
What is today's petty historic? Petty Junction.
Petty Junction, Petty Story today brought to you by ONORA Whiskey at NORAWhiskey.com, at Premium American Whiskey at NORAWhiskey.com. Patrick Mahomes Sr. Hey, man, look, bro. The third time, man.
The third time when, though? Is it in a week or a third time in general? So I didn't understand that.
It's Super Bowl week. You know darn well that your son does not need distractions, doesn't need to be wiring money over to bail you out, all that foolishness, man. Come on, man. What are we doing?
You think it's a distraction? I feel like Pat knows who his dad is.
No, because I think Pat is Pat. So Pat's going to let it run down this.
He's going to let it rock. He's going to let it rock.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, don't do that. It was funny last night because I kept asking myself, as Taylor Swift walked in during the opening monologue, I was like, I wonder if Trav tried to talk his way into the Grammys. Because it's an hour flight, bro. I'm sure he was like, Andy.
Come on, dog.
Dog. It's an hour away. I'll be back the same night. Man, let me have Andy Reid was like, it's Super Bowl, dog.
All that stuff was fun.
Yeah. And Pat and his Fozzie the Bear voice was probably like, come on, hey, come on now. No.
Yeah, I don't think nothing really could distract Pat in that sense. Because I'm sure he knew his brother was a little wild last Super Bowl. He probably knew that. His dad didn't just start drinking.
No, his dad is drunk every post game.
Yeah, so
every post
game. Pat probably drink with him in the off season under behind the curtain. You know all that. You're talking about the greatest player right now. You don't think he probably sitting there laughing with his dad like, man, we running this whole thing.
Facts.
Running this $500 million man over here. Get you a shot, Dad. Hell, if I'm Patrick Dad, you can't tell. How many people in Texas honestly telling Pat Dads anything?
Yeah, at this point.
He probably just riding around in KCJ. That's how they knew who it was. He had his son jersey on. He just probably switched colors on jerseys every day. Or the red 15 today, the white 15 tomorrow. Absolutely. So I don't think that this is going to change anything. I don't think Pat is going to have some intervention with his dad. I think he probably might get another one after they win the Super Bowl. I don't know, man. I think it's hard when you that on top to really tell him anything, honestly. Until Pat's probably the only one that can probably say something to any of his people in his family, like, yo, y'all gotta chill, bro. Y'all gotta chill. But hell, Dizzy, because his brother wilding, his dad wilding, his girl wilding.
Man, look.
Pat being able to handle all of that and still be 6 for 6 on Super Bowls and attendances and all that. Some things don't feel like Michael Jordan probably had a bunch of stuff going on during them years he was winning them championships. You couldn't tell, though. It's the mark of a great player.
Man, Lucky Lefty podcast. Next up, come on down. Rest in heaven. So we're not just throwing dirt on our guy, but to hear Lou Williams, Lemon Pepper Lou, talk about Kobe Bryant coming in the locker room and everybody, first of all, the fact that everybody was wearing his shoes is funny within itself.
It's crazy. It's funny within itself.
And then just told the trainer, like, man, them dudes they too soft to wear my shoes.
And then the trainer doing it. Man, trainer, you don't get out of my locker, man. You over here just taking shit. Trainer feeling emboldened because Kobe told him to do it. That's why.
Yeah.
I just don't think it'll fly these days. I just don't know if it'll fly these days. Think about it. Jalen Green over there trying to punk us. What is it, Thompson already?
Yeah.
So, hell, do you think Kobe could do that to Russell Westbrook?
Say it again.
You think Kobe could do that to Russell Westbrook? Absolutely not.
No, but that was a young team. You know what I'm saying? That was like post championships.
Kobe with the Thunder when it was Harden, Westbrook, and KD
as rookies.
As the rookie,
he probably could get away with it as rookies. Oh no, man! Because you have to understand, Westbrook probably looks up to Cole. So even if he felt a certain way, he wouldn't disrespect Cole. He's an LA kid.
None of these kids have respect now. For the older dudes, you see how they treat LeBron. Then it looks way too crazy with LeBron. He should be serving straight respect to LeBron. He be steady trying to get in LeBron head and all this other stuff. It's like, dude, you don't score enough points.
And then last but not least, look, man. I don't know what transpired with Killer Mike. I can't wait to hear the entire story. But I guess a security guard was trying to catch up with him or something like that left at the Grammys. He fell down or got pushed down. First of all, you're a big security guard. Dude. You want to charge, you want to press charges because you got pushed. Like, man, what are we talking about? The way they made it sound at first, I thought, man, him and his boys had jumped the security guard and kicked him. And I'm like, oh, now this dude, after winning 3 awards at the Grammys, is in handcuffs. It was just a bad look.
I can't believe they allowed that to happen, though.
Yeah, it was a bad look. It's a bad look. That's it, Left. You got anybody else you want to put on the petty train?
I don't. The Kobe thing was big for me, and then the Jay-Z thing I thought was petty only because it's like, dude.
Oh, it was purposely petty. From bringing Blue up there, starting with the Blue joke, everything was purposely petty. Everything was purposely petty. So, well played, my man. Dude, his humor, his style of humor is, you just have to sit back and laugh like, oh my God, this dude is super petty. Hove, man. Lucky Lefty podcast. I saw Drake was petty too on IG talking about awards don't mean anything when you get billions of streams. And
Drake still petty. He talk about at his concert, he don't sing the Rihanna song. Like, dude, you get every girl in the world, you still salty over Rihanna, bro. Like,
yes, he is.
Light skin stuff.
Yes,
man.
he is. Yes, he is.
Like, you tripping, Drake.
The one that got away. Yeah, he's mad. He's mad. And yo, Nicki Minaj. Nicki, your time is up, babe.
Yeah, because she don't know how to handle the game now. That's
nobody cares. Nobody cares about your music anymore. You got a couple of hot singles.
That's not true.
Look at the streams. Look at the first week streams.
She sold what? She sold 200,000 copies.
Oh, wow.
That's huge for nowadays.
No, it's not.
Because nobody else sold 200.
First week? Are you kidding me?
First week sales.
So Drake's not doing 200,000 first week?
They're label mates.
No. My first book, because Nicki was at Drake's level or very close to Drake's level. She's not that anymore.
Right? We talk about streaming numbers.
My point is she's not who she used to be. She's not. Her impact is not the same. She's not.
For female rappers, it is.
No, that's why she's struggling. I'm talking about why she's struggling. Nicki's never been Nicki was above. Kanye told you Nicki can be the biggest in the game. This has nothing to do with at the time. She was up there. My point is she is struggling with the fact that she's not there anymore. Nicki's 40 years old, fam.
Compared to who though?
It doesn't matter. She's judging herself based upon herself. She's not judging herself based upon younger rappers.
I just don't think she likes the fact that they give attention to other people. I don't think she thinks she's not on that level. I think she's like, why y'all talking about all these other female rappers who like just got here?
Fam, Nicki Minaj is 41 years old, bro. Are we about to sit here? Wait a minute. At 40, whatever Hove is, are we gonna say Hove is at the same level that he was in the middle of his run when it comes? No, he's not.
Because Hove doesn't want to make music. Nicki's still trying to make music, though.
That's my point. She needs to realize that her impact and imprint is not the same. So if you're gonna make music
on a beef level, yeah, it's not the same on a beef level, but she can
on a beef level, and it's not the same on her impact. She's not making the impact on the industry. She's not. Nicki would put out albums and literally steal attention away from other people. She would steal the attention away from other females. She's not doing that anymore.
She can't do that now.
She can't do that anymore. She doesn't have that same impact. And you know, as she should, she's earned the right to have an ego. And it's tough to deal with. It's tough to deal with. And I get it. But the whole beef and, you know, your fans going and desecrating the grave site of Megan Thee Stallion's mom and all that stuff, man. And you continue to double down on that crap, man, grow up. You're 41 years old with a kid and a husband. Grow up. Grow up. Grow up.
That's fair.
The same girl that sent people out, her husband out in the streets with a warrant already.
I don't think that was her. I think he did that on his own.
No, she did that crap. Because she's been in her music and upfront about doing it before. She sent Meek after people.
He got whooped for that. You know.
That's what happens. Usually when you let a female send you off, that's usually what happens. You end up taking the L, unfortunately. I know one thing though. The way B was looking, what Jay was standing up for, boy, I was like,
yeah, what'd you think of that? How'd you think of that? Was that do you think she was in support or was she like embarrassed like Kanye?
No. Jay had a good night when he got to the crib, bro. Believe that. Surfboard.
Why don't they ever put their other kids on TV? Is it Blue the only one they proud of or something? Because don't they got like 3 or 4 kids?
No, I think after Blue,
she got twins.
I think because Blue came during Lemonade, right? The Lemonade tour.
Right.
So she was kind of in the midst of, she was kind of like out there just because of circumstance. And I think they had an opportunity to keep the other kids more private. Right? Because Blue was on tour. She was on tour with them as a kid. Yeah. And Jay would take her during the day. And she would always be in Jay out in the streets and people would catch pictures of them walking, you know. So I think after Blue, they became more conscious of, what was going to come. But great show. Thanks for tapping in, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Another episode. Lucky Lefty Podcast, man. Yeah, make sure you spin it different.